Switch this on. Cool. All right. So you should be getting picked up by the recording just fine. So let's start our interview. So, Bingo, to start us off with this interview about everything that happened on Sunday, um, why don't you tell me your opinion and what you know about the general perception of the nobles on the island here?
Sure. All right. Well, Adam, I've been around here for a long time, as you know. I came here to the island on May of last year, and I was for a very long time a friend of the nobles. I would help them in their endeavors. I wanted to learn from Grom, that kind of stuff. One of their Cinder was actually my adopted mother. And following a great deal of interpersonal
Oh,
politics within the nobles regarding the pack and such. Cinder left nobles, and uh, then they hunted her down and killed her. After summoning her for a trial, she didn't go to because she just wanted to leave and be alone. So they hunted her down, captured her. Before they hunted her down, though, they couldn't find her. So the nobles teamed up with the Children of Weird, and in that interim, I got captured and tortured to flush and at the time my adopted father Blaine out, and they both were captured and killed. So I have had an awful experience with the nobles, and also ever since then, Grom has been haunting me over the PDA, saying such like he's never gonna let me forget the death of my mother. Even after I die, he will whisper it over my remains. So I felt pretty threatened, to be 100% honest.
right. So I've heard Cinder's death actually had a significant part in why
I'm not staying though.
Maybe.
Frostfall and
No, I mean I might stay a while.
uh and the Wolfheim ended up turning from allies to enemies. So, why
Mhm.
exactly did Cinder leave the nobles to begin with?
As far as I know and remember, she was growing closer and closer with the pack and was like kind of enjoying them. I also know that near the end there, she was starting to disagree with the nobles in terms of how they operate things, specifically in terms of teaming with people like a mass serial killer named Hermit, who would always torment and torture me. They were working together with Hermit. I didn't like that. They didn't care what I thought. Cinder didn't like that, so she started to distance herself more and more. There are some like rumors of like what happened there. Like they were saying, the nobles were saying that Cinder was stealing building supplies from them. I don't know the details of all of that, but what I do know was that she was just trying to distance herself from them. She didn't see herself with them anymore, and just kind of wanted to leave. But then they called her to a trial. She refused to show for the trial because she was scared of being killed. And just thought if she were to avoid them and never show her face to them again, nothing would happen. But they instead they hunted her down to have her killed
Hmm.
without trial.
I understand. So that's kind of the history of yourself with the nobles and the history of the nobles on the island. Why don't you tell me more of like the public opinion that you've seen surrounding the nobles in your time here?
So what I've seen around here, so to be 100% honest, um, despite the fact that they've gone a long time without doing awful shit, when they do make a huge appearance on the island, it is to do bad stuff. So, for example, an enemy of the Riftborn when they captured and killed Dean, or Adara, one of the members of, I think he was one of the founding members of the Reapers of the Rift. I could be wrong in that. I don't think it was 100% being made when he was still alive, but his death definitely fueled that sort of fighting fire within the Riftborn. So they're they're generally, from what I can tell, not well received. They don't exactly have a ton of recruits going for them, and well, the ones that they do have going for them haven't seemed to be the most savory. Maybe don't mention that too much in your whatever you're doing, but yeah, no, it hasn't exactly been the most well received. They're the most secretive. um One of their members are the most shit talkers on the radio that I'm sure you've noticed. They like to call me an angel over the radio as a way of just kind of making inflammatory statements to piss me off because they know exactly what I am. I explained to them when they kidnap me exactly what I am, and they are just trying to make me look bad, try to get the demons to get mad at me. So, not a great impression, I would say overall.
Mm. Um, yeah, I definitely have seen that, especially with more recent times, which brings us actually to the incident itself on Sunday. You said that uh, so what exactly lead me up with your experiences of what happened this past Sunday at Dusty and Dusk's wedding. Oh, did I lose you?
Right. So Dusty no. Dusty is a close friend of mine, and Dusk is my quote-unquote adopted aunt. The joke that we had about the word that we
Whoa,
ended up
whoa,
saying behind me because that was
whoa, whoa.
because I was Cinder and Blaine's
Hold on.
adopted
Whoa,
kid. I am
whoa,
now
whoa,
somehow
whoa,
factored
whoa,
in.
whoa, whoa.
It's a whole thing. But what? Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry. Your the radio waves kind of compressed what you were saying there. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Sure, yeah. So, Dusk is really close to me because she's a quote-unquote adoptive aunt.
I find the danger,
There's a whole
and that's
joke within
fucking
the pack
everywhere.
and the horde that I somehow factor into their little family tree. So the joke is that Dusk is my aunt, and but really, she she and I are really close friends. We've been friends for a long time. So when she invited me to her wedding, I was so excited. Showed up all ready. I was all dressed and everything. I had my plus one with me, and we arrived, and everyone like hurried us inside. They're like, yeah, they took Kirk and Ellie. They told Kirk and Ellie that they had me, so that they would go with them. That's what I heard at least. And after that, I opened up communications with Grom, imploring him to let Kirk and Ellie go so they can come to the wedding. And Grom said, "No, you're actually going to come turn yourself in exchange yourself for Kirk and Ellie, or else I'm going to kill them." After a bit of me protesting or saying that after the wedding I would, just because I didn't want to ruin Dusk and Dusty's wedding, and I also didn't want my friends to die. Um, uh, Grom then made negotiations over the radio to get me and Sammy to go to Frostfall and turn ourselves in for Kirk and Ellie. So after some deliberation, after some fighting with my family, people who didn't want me to go because they didn't want me to die, I went. I left my stuff behind and went to Frostfall to take whatever I asked for Grom to vow to me that I would not receive any punishment. I would not be killed, at least. Um, and also, I actually can read out the exact PDA conversation if you'd like. Give me 1 second.
Yes, that would actually
Would that
be.
be okay?
Yeah, that would actually be very, very helpful for me right
Can you
here.
hear me okay right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. All right, let me see. Grom, Grom, Grom. I usually have him blocked, but not this time. Here we go. I started the conversation with saying let them the fuck go. He says then come by yourself. It's time we speak. I said is this what this is about? And he said come. I said they won't let me leave Wolfheim. He said then these two won't be making it to the wedding. I am sorry for your loss if this is the decision you've made. I said I will come to you after the wedding for their safe return. I will come without struggle or protest and you may do to me as you will if you release them. He said now is funny. Bingo, I will shoot them both with the gentleman's .500. I said, Grom, what can I even do? I'm not allowed to leave. He said, then they will die. At least they are dressed nicely. I said, I will turn myself into you after the wedding, and I will not let you ruin this beautiful couple's day. I will only be coming alone if Kirk and Ellie are released alive. And then he said the wedding will run red if you do not come. I said tell that to Mackenzie or Sammy. He then said 102.5, and so we tuned into that, and then he requested that we go there and turn ourselves in. And then I put on the PDA, if we turn ourselves in, do we live and do you let the wedding go in uninterrupted? He said yes. I said just me and Sammy. I never want that to happen. And then after that, I asked him to never do that again, and that I would just listen to him. So, that was the exact conversation. So me and Sammy, um, at at the gates, we were there. Ellie had a gun to her head. Me and Sammy returned ourselves in peacefully. Then Crimson ran up. Crimson protested our capture, demanded that we all be let free. They banished Crimson, and she let loose on them. She tried to attack them to get us free. Was able to get one down to the hospital, but she got killed in the interim. And after that, we were marched inside, and then we were questioned, interrogated, beaten. Sammy got it worse than I did. The worst that they did to me was probably tie up my hands in barbed wire, but they had an axe to my head as they asked questions about what I am and what I've been turned into.
That's so the questions that they had for you were mainly about what you were or what you are now and what you've kind of turned into.
Right.
Is that correct?
Exactly. Their main questions about what I am is what I've been turned into, and whether or not I will be supporting them in their fight, which I agreed to because I don't want them to hurt my friends anymore.
When you say their fight, what exactly fight are you referring to?
I'm not 100% sure. I assume they mean Maeve. I'm assuming that they mean they want me to stick around and help them in their fight against Maeve because otherwise I don't really know what they're referring to. I'm not really questioning it so much. I don't
Hey,
question things, Adam. I kind of just, when it's to keep my friends safe, I kind of just have to do what I'm told sometimes. And it's not, I'm not saying it's a respectable
going
quality,
on?
but I gotta keep people safe.
Uh, Hi. Sorry. Give me just a moment. Bingo. Kit, hi. I am interviewing your boyfriend about everything that happened. I was just trying to get away from everything, so it's quiet out here.
But you're interviewing Bingo.
Yeah,
I don't see Bingo.
I have him on the
Hi,
radio.
Kit.
Don't know that you can hear
Oh,
the
oh,
radio.
I'm stupid. Yeah. Ignore me.
I don't know that he could hear me.
Hi, Bingo. Hi, Bingo. Hi, Bingo. Hi, Bingo. Okay, sorry, I'm interrupting. Hi, Bingo.
Okay. Back to what we were talking about. Um, what exactly would you say led to them, letting you go? Uh, Bingo.
So what got them to let me go? I think they were always going to let me go. But they made an implication that they were going to kill me that day, and kind of implied that if I didn't answer the questions, they would kill me. So after I answered questions, I was kind of put off to the side while they questioned Sammy. And after a while, they were kind of just like, okay, we're done here. And then they just started taking me away. But Sammy was left behind to answer whatever more questions. It sounded like they were all going to beat her up, but I'm not 100% sure. And the entire way out, I was basically being berated by Grom. And then not berated by Grom. He was telling me I was like a little piece of shit. And then it was like, we'll be seeing you soon. Blah, 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 blah. It was just I don't think they truly planned to kill us. I think they were bluffing. But I didn't. I answered as truthfully as I could to them. I tried to not hold any lies. I was sick of it. I wanted to just go see my friend's wedding, and they let me out. And they weren't sure if it was going to be safe outside, so they had me yell out that all was clear. And when I didn't say it loud enough the first time, they hit me on the back of the head with their gun. And after I said that out, they sent me out and I left. I was able to ask nicely for my PDA back because I was pretty well behaved. I only told Grom "fuck you" maybe once, and he nearly killed me for that. But yeah.
uh, yeah. So as far as been pretty useful as far as telling me this stuff goes. Can you um did you hear any of what they were asking Sammy?
I not going to lie to you 100%. I was kind of blocking out at that point, kind of dissociating a bit. I have a really bad history with torture and getting
Yeah.
kidnapped. A great deal of trauma attributed to it, and one of the ways I keep saying is by going into my head and kind of just go over these 5 mantras that I have. However, I know that at one point what was brought up was something about the book, of some sort of book,
Yeah,
and
you
they were
really did.
trying to
You
get
really
Mackenzie
did.
to trade for Sammy's life with the book. I know Sammy was given the radio to talk to McKinney. They both just started laughing really hard with each other. It was kind of funny. And then they got pissed off. And then they framed Sammy's death by shooting the radio, making a loud sound while shooting the radio. So like it was like, we're gonna kill Sammy now. Shot the radio kind of thing.
Hmm.
But
I can do it.
anyways, I know also
I
there was a
Oh
thing
yeah,
between
I have
Spaz,
this
one
one
of the
memorized.
squires, new recruits of the Sanguine Knights, and Sammy, where Sammy was like, Spaz, why did you do this? And Spaz was like, well, you like threw me away, blah blah blah. I don't know the specifics of that drama there, but there was something going on there. I know that for a fact. They were asking her about different sort of things. Oh, another thing they were asking me about was how the stuff that happened at the tower when the rift was made. That's another thing that was another topic they brought up. But yeah, no, I besides that I really don't remember the details.
Hmm. So, why don't you walk me through what happened with Crimson's death specifically, if you can, if you'd be willing to tell me a bit more about that in detail.
About Crimson's death?
Yeah, her actual, and what you knew about her as well would be very helpful.
Um so Crimson was a tricky case. You know, she was a give me one second. Let me
Yeah, take your time. I know this is probably hard to talk about.
Um, so Crimson is kind of a touchy case because she was a noble. I don't really like the nobles for a very long time. I kind of kept myself distant from her. She was involved in a couple of my captures in terms of the Forsaken, actually. I don't know exactly why she was with them, but she was. Um, as time went on, and I think the exact moment that I really started noticing a change was when we opened the rift and the cult showed up to stop and kill us. When she started like kind of like slow down with her ways and start to like distance herself from the other nobles, it started to remind me a lot of Cinder, honestly.
Hmm.
Um,
I've heard that comparison quite a few times in investigating this story. Um,
yeah. Um, well, uh, she was she was trying to clear her name. She was trying to make up for the shit she did because she did some awful stuff to particularly Sammy in the Riftborn. She fed so during the death of Dean Adara, who was Sammy's brother. Sammy went to the castle out of a state of grief and tried to demand her brother's remains back. And during that capture, she was fed, force fed the meat of her brother from Crimson. After which, I captured Crimson and held her hostage, so the nobles could give me the remains of Dean back. Yeah, it was a complicated scenario, but didn't seem to hold any ill will towards me. She seemed to truly been trying to make a change, and a bunch of other people were, a bunch of people were giving her a chance. Many more were like unbeliever for good reason, I believe. But I think all that she went through was way worse than what she deserved. In the end, I think she was truly trying, and people weren't giving her. She had paid her dues, and people kept asking more from her. And I don't blame Sammy. I don't think that's not what I mean. I'm not trying to call out Sammy and say that she did something wrong with that. I think it was other people capitalizing on that grief to do whatever they wanted. Um, but she died trying to save us, and I hope she finds peace wherever she may live.
yeah.
The day she died, that day earlier, I was driving I was moving stuff from my house to our new place, right? And Crimson came with me so we could talk, and I just remember how nice it was to hang out with her. I didn't realize as she left my car and went down to go south that was probably gonna be the last time I was gonna see her. And every time I think of her, I think about that moment and be like, damn, I really wish we could have just stayed in that moment and that she hadn't died. So a tragedy, and yet another name the nobles add to the list of people who didn't deserve to die.
Yeah. Thank you for sitting here and talking to me today. Do you have anything else you'd like to say on the record before I turn this off here?
Um, I don't know. I want to say a bunch of things, but I'm trying to think about what won't get me killed. Can I just say something to you, Adam, that won't be included?
Yeah, you can.
They keep the souls of some of their members in crystals, and whether or not that's willing or not, never gonna be clear to us.
Do you know if they have Cinder and Crimson?
He's told me that he's had Cinder. I think that was a bluff, but the one that I know he has, because he's told me he has, is a noble named Quinn, or Rogue. She was a seer. She could see the future. She was a fortune teller. And a really close friend of mine, I think around maybe October, November, December, that time.
Hmm.
Um, I know they have her, because he's shown me to her. I just want you to know that. That's the kind of evil magic they have. And they've tried to use that against me. So hopefully that indicates what kind of people they are to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bingo, for today again. I appreciate you talking to me. I'll let you enjoy your time at the castle with Axe and hanging out with everyone. Thank you so much again.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You have a great rest of your day, bud.
Yep, you too. Bye.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye bye.